Hello and welcome back to the Pit Resource Connection. I'm Mary Smith, your host. We've got a new guest today. We're going to be talking with Zandra Best, who is the director of Head Start. And we've seen Head Start vans and buses around, but a lot of people are not sure exactly what Head Start is. Can you give us some background on what it's all about?
Sure. Head Start is a comprehensive preschool program, and it's one of those programs that started in 1965 under the president of Lyndon Johnson, and it was one of those things that was the war, one of his campaigns, the war on poverty. And so at Economic Improvement Council, it is our mission to wage an increasingly fight on the war on poverty to children and families through education, through health, and through helping the families, see a better way of life.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what do you do on a daily basis? What's it all about?
Well, on a daily basis, it's about educating the children. We serve children ages 3 to 5, and we also serve families. And I think what set Head Start apart from a lot of pre-K programs is we just do not focus on the child, but we focus on the entire family, because we believe that, the parent is the first teacher. So if you educate the child and leave the parent behind, then, that may not work so well. So we look at the whole family and we provide services for the whole family. We provide education to the child. We provide health services to the child and the family, social services such as if they need help with finances, then we have family advocates in our program that they will use every resource possible in the community to help meet that need of the parent. So if it's a home, our program, we have what we call CSBG program, and they help families become self-sufficient. So if there's a family in need of job training, in need of a home, we have services right under our umbrella that we can refer them to get the necessary help that they need.
Okay. So your pre-K, it's 3 through 5.
3 to 5.
Kids come in there and they learn their numbers and their letters and all that kind of stuff.
They learn all of that, alphabets, letters, numbers, and more importantly than a lot of things is socialization skills. Because if a child don't know how to socialize, then it's hard for them to learn. So we have children that come in that have never been away from mom, dad, grandma, and this is their first preschool experience. So we provide that socialization along with the academics.
Okay. So it's not open to everybody. You have to qualify for your services. And what are the steps for that?
To qualify for Head Start services, you have to be, there's age and income eligibility.
Okay.
The age, as I stated, is 3 to 5. If you're 3, you have to be 3 by August the 31st. And to meet income, you have to be under the poverty guideline, which is set by the federal government.
Okay. And is there a fee for your services?
There is no fee for Head Start. Everything that we do in Head Start is free.
Okay. All right. And so where are you located? I mean, I know I've seen places all over the country.
Yes.
So
yes.
you've got a lot of different preschools.
Yes, we do. We are located actually under Economic Improvement Council. We are operating out of 13 counties, but I am the director at over Pitt, Martin, and Beaufort County. We have 4 centers here in Pitt County. We have 1 in Beaufort County, and we have 1 center in Martin County.
And how many kids are you serving?
We serve 500 children.
500?
500 children.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
And I see buses and vans. Do you go and pick them up? Is that?
We provide transportation now to only 2 sites, and that is in Martin County and Beaufort County.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because they are our ruralist areas. And we did provide transportation in the Aden area, but that's not, really a rural area. so children are able to use other forms of transportation to get into the Pitt County sites.
Okay. And so what are your hours? I mean, is it standard school hours or half days or what?
Our hours, it's a full day program, and our hours are from 8 to 2:30.
And is this year round or just through the school system?
Just through the school year.
Okay.
We begin in August and we end in May.
Okay, and so with 500 kids, I would think just with your groups that you're working with, you know, you probably could use a little extra help from the community, could you?
Certainly, certainly. We always like to have community involvement. Part of our grant, because Head Start is funded through the federal government under a grant, and part of our grant, we have to meet a 10% mandate of in-kind. So how do we get that in-kind? We like having volunteers to come into our program, getting the community involved in our program. And we partner with other entities in each county that we get in-kind from. So it's very important to have the community involved in what we do, and parents. They're also volunteer in our program.
And so for people that may not understand grants and all, is that a lot of our grants require us to have a monetary match to bring down any of the funds. So you don't, you know, and they do, the in-kind is volunteer hours. They, you multiply that by what I think the North Carolina, I don't know what it is right now, but there is a dollar amount that North Carolina recognizes for volunteer hours, and that's what we're able to use to match the funds.
The funds, exactly, absolutely.
So if a volunteer, if I'm listening and I want to become a volunteer, that I love 3 to 5 year olds, and I think it would be fun. I'm in between jobs, or I don't have to work, or I just want to do something a couple of days a week. How do I get involved? What do I have to do?
Okay, first you can go to any of our centers, or you can give us a call, do a volunteer application, and the only thing that we require to be a volunteer is that you have a TB test and fill out our application.
Okay, do they have to do a background check?
They do not have to do a background check on our volunteers, because with our volunteers, they're always with the permanent staff, always. So just that TB test.
Okay, they're not left alone, huh?
Never left alone.
Okay, and then, so they've done this. Is there a training that they go through, or you just work out a schedule with them, or what's next?
They go through a training. We have orientation for our volunteers, and they can choose what they want to do. They can choose what areas they want to work in, whether it want to be education, some want to do the kitchen, some want to do the grounds, you know, whatever it is you want to do. But we have an overall orientation to familiarize, you know, the volunteer with our services, what we do, and what they can and cannot do.
Okay. All right. So and then they work under the staff.
Work under the staff at all times.
And how many hours do they typically put in?
They can put in, if they have a TB test, they can do as many hours as they like. But the norm for most is some might do 3 days a week for 4 hours. It's sporadically, you know, done, but typically, you know, 3 days a week, 4 hours a day is like the norm.
Okay. So that would be 12 hours a week?
A week, yes.
That's great. And I know you all can use that.
We can, certainly. It's always good to have extra hands and eyes on board when you're working with 3 and 5 year olds. They're very quick.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
I think there was a study done with a boxer and a 2-year-old once, and they had the boxer emulate every action that the 2-year-old did, and he couldn't keep up. It is definitely wasted on the young, isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's education, and then tell me a little more about, you mentioned health care. What are you doing in regards to the health care piece?
Well, when the children come in, there are certain health pieces that they have to have, you know, and one being physical. And sometimes you may have parents that have not kept up with, you know, those immunization records, or they may not have a medical home established yet. And that's one of our goals, that if a parent comes in and does not have a medical home, by the end of the school year, you know, we help them secure a medical home. We have certain doctors that, you know, we will call if the child need a physical, and to make sure that, you know, get the child in so that they can get that physical. Because if they don't have the physical, then they can't come to school. They can only be there for 30 days without a physical. So we do everything within our possibility to make sure that they have those health pieces. Also, every child has to have a dental screen. So we partner with dentists, we partner with the School of Medicine, dental school, so that our children can have that dental visit. Because a lot of times at that age, you know, we as parents may not see the importance of having children's dental needs met at that time. And especially if you're trying to make other things happen, you know, that just may not be your top priority. Yes. So we make sure that they have a dental screen, and if there's any dental work that they need, then we work along with the parent and with the provider to make sure that by the end of the year again that they have those dental needs met.
Okay. And are these services free to the parents, or do they have to pay for these screens and that's how?
Most of the services are free because once again our parents, you know, meet that guideline. So, you know, most of those services are free. If for chance there are a parent that do not have the funds and are not meeting the guidelines for whatever reason, because we do serve children that's over the 10%. We can't serve 10% over the income, but we have to make sure that we, you know, did everything possible to meet those that fall into, you know, the guidelines. But if, for instance, there's a parent that's over that 10% and they just do not meet the qualification, then, you know, we will try to find some resources that the service will be free to them also.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so are you providing services to special needs children as well?
We do. Our grant mandates that we serve 10% of children with special needs. So that's a mandate by the Office of Head Start, so we must do that. And we serve 10%, like we have 500 children, so we have to serve 50 children with special needs.
Wow.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay. So do you have special teachers that come in, or?
We do. We partner with the LEA, the local educational, you know, school system right in each county. And so they will be the ones that will write the IEP for the child, and they would help us service the child. They come into our program, you know, as an itinerant teacher and work with that child on whatever that special need is. A lot of our special needs have to do with speech and developmental delay. We have served children that, you know, the need have been far greater and more than, you know, just that. So we don't discriminate just because, you know, a child has a special need. Yes.
We'll take you too.
We want you. We want you.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
All right. So if somebody's listening and wants to get started, it's, you know, they need to have a child that's 3 by August 31st.
Yes.
Then what else do they need to do to get involved? I mean, can they only get involved at the beginning of the school year? If they're listening in the middle of the year and they want to get involved, tell me about that.
Certainly. You can always get an application from any one of our sites. And we have a site here in Greenville. We have a site, as I said, in Ayden. We have 2. We have one in Farmville. And our Beaufort County site, Martin County site, and our home office, which is also in Williamston. You can pick up an application any time of the year, because we do have children that drop from the program, you know, for whatever reason, and we have to fill those slots. So if your child now is 3, now would be a good time to do an application, because they may get in further down in the year, and certainly they will be high on our waiting list for the next school year.
Okay.
So anytime you can do an application.
Okay, just wait till your child turns 3.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
you do. Okay.
Yes.
All right, and so we have a number on the screen that people can call you if they have more information, and
Yes.
website. We didn't get that, but do you have a website?
Yes, we do have a website, but if you would go to, you can just type in Economic Improvement Council Head Start, and you'll find all the information that you need.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
I know it helps those kids get a start on school, that
Yes.
they'll be ready when they get into kindergarten.
Yes, they will. That is our hope, that they are ready. And we've had many of our local schools give us feedback that they loved our children that come from Head Start. They can tell that they've been in Head Start. And so we're very grateful to hear that. Very grateful to hear that.
Yay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it is nice to get feedback.
It is nice to get feedback. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yes,
All
it is.
right.
And we've been in this community for several years. We did have a transition period. And like I said, we're now under the Economic Improvement Council, which is out of Edenton, under the Executive Director, Landon Mason. So we're just grateful to be under that umbrella now, and that Head Start is still operating, and we're doing great.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming in.
Thank you.
And if you're interested to learn more, give her a call, and she'll be more than happy, or her staff, to help you get your child enrolled. And we want to thank you for watching the Pitt Resource Connection.